Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm sure we'll have a few more people trickle in, and it looks like a nice small group, which is great. You guys fit all in the shady area. It's a little hot out there in the sun. Danielle's being brave. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sarah, and I think I have met each and every one of you so far on a tour or over a phone call or at Woodland or somewhere else in the community. But we're so glad that you found your way here to KME, and we're so happy to have 18 new families joining us this year. So thank you for trusting us and coming along on the journey. I forgot my paper. Pretty sure I knew what I was going to do next, but just to make sure I don't miss anything too important. First thing I'd like to do is just introduce all the other faces so that you know this is pretty much it. We're a small crew of 6. Yep, there's 6 of us here today. When Marcy comes to teach band and music lessons, private music lessons, then there'll be a 7th staff member, but that's a wonderful thing. You get to really know each and every one of us and all of our special skills. And these guys are so skilled. So I will start here. This is Heather Wyrick. You have to remember the W part because there's more than one Heather. There'll be a quiz later. Heather is embarking, we believe, on her 15th year here, maybe 16th. There's been a little bit of debate about how long it's been, but needless to say, she's an integral part of our community. She has been the principal. She has been an elementary 2 teacher, and now she has made her way back to her home in elementary 1 with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. Woohoo! We love Heather! Oh, thank you! Back there in E1 is her partner in crime, Harris. Harris has been here. This will be his 4th year with us, and always been an elementary 1 teacher. Like 1 year he was an aide in L2, so he's worked with the older kids before, but he's really focused in these last few years on being a lead teacher back there with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd graders. Harris is phenomenal. He's very popular with the kids. He's always got a good joke to tell. I know, they're all popular. What I wanted to share this year, we have a big group back there in E1. So we have 37 kids between these 2 lead teachers. Your kids will be split into 2 groups for morning meeting, and for the majority of tracking purposes, they'll have one teacher who's kind of following that child throughout the year. For the rest of the work time and throughout the day, they will have both teachers, and so we hope that they get to know and bond with each of your children. But if you have a specific question about their progress in language or math, and you ask the wrong teacher, they might just say, you know, Heather has a little bit more information about that, so let me check in with her and have her reach out to you. We really wanted to try to walk that line and make sure we take advantage of the power of a co-teacher. It really is wonderful when you have more than one person sharing the journey with a child and all that communication and responsibility, but also break it up and make the groups a little bit smaller. And for those of you who have siblings that are both in E1, we've split them up into their own groups, so they have kind of a more personalized experience also. Does that explain? That's really good. All right, next to them we have Mr. David. How do you say that, Mr. David, sir?
Mr. David, teacher, sir.
Mr. David, teacher, sir. If you're a child, if you're a parent, he'll respond, I think, just to David.
I just called him Mr.
Good job, Anissa. You got it. He's been here for 21 years, I believe, or will be. This year's 21. We would be lost without him. So he's up there with the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. He has done that, I think, almost his whole journey here, except a few forays into middle school. That is what we hope he will be doing in the next coming years, is moving back up into the 7th and 8th grade world as we expand our program. So he's trained in all 3 areas, and always there for a good question or comment, or knows a lot more history of the program than I do. Next to him, we have his wonderful assistant teacher, Sarah K, or Sarah Kirschner, if you're getting her and I mixed up a little bit. So Sarah, this will be her 3rd year with Montessori, and she is an amazing asset in the elementary 2 classroom. She helps to move the students along in the curriculum. She can help answer questions. Some presentations she's getting maybe to the point of knowing. But we're hoping that she might be doing some Montessori training and stepping up into a lead position here soon. We're going to keep pushing her and supporting her on that journey because she's phenomenal. She's also our art teacher. So in 2 weeks when we start Fine Arts in the afternoon, she'll be working with the elementary 1 kids also who come up to do art with her. And sometimes she'll be here after school. So if your kids stay in aftercare, you'll see either Sarah or Heather, who I'll introduce next, or sometimes me. All right, and then we have Miss Heather Dolan, the other Heather, down at the end. And she is a teacher extraordinaire around here. She's been working with children for many, many years in many, many capacities. I keep finding out more. Just can't believe how skilled you are. So we are taking full advantage. She is an aide in the elementary 1 classroom in the morning, so she'll be working with your kids if they are in E1. She is music specialist. She is a Spanish teacher. And she does aftercare. So we're just using her for everything we can throughout the day. And she takes that extra moment to really connect and bond with each one of your kids and get to know any weaknesses or concerns or fears that they have. She's really good at just bringing that out and chatting with them throughout the day. So we love having Heather Dolan. Couple of quick things just about communication and questions and getting a hold of me or the teachers throughout the day. I think Heather is going to talk about this a little bit more, but I'll say specifically for me, feel free to email anytime. Feel free to call the front desk. I will say we're a little bit light in coverage at the front desk right now. That was a fallout with COVID last year. We just wanted to keep our staff small and as much as possible and see if we could operate on kind of that crew. We're hoping to have some front desk support here in the next few weeks, but until then, it's just me. So I might miss your call, and I apologize for that. And sometimes I'm on the other line, or I'm just running to the store to get snacks for the kids. So leave a message, and I'll try to call you back right away. If you ever really feel like you need to get through immediately, you can just call twice in a row, and one of the teachers will probably pick up. I did put my cell phone in the parent letter that you got in your parent packet, so you can text or call that anytime also if needed, okay? You guys should have all gotten parent packets. I think I got them back from most of you, that big envelope with lots of forms. If you haven't had a chance to get that filled out and brought back yet, if you could do it just as soon as you can, that will help us. So many of those forms are important. We don't want to go posting your kid's picture on Facebook if that's not something you want us to do. We know if they have a food allergy or a medical condition we need to know about, those forms are in there. You'll get your first bulletin tomorrow via email, and you'll get one of those each week on Wednesdays. And so that'll be how you know what field trips are coming up, what permission slips need to be signed, what events are going on at school, what you can do to volunteer and help out. So just if you can take an extra time to read that bulletin when you get it, that would be so appreciated. I know it gets a lot sometimes to keep up on, so I'll really try to keep it short and sweet as much as possible. Okay, so I'm not going to go deep into depth to our COVID policies. That was pretty well spelled out in the parent packet you got, but please let me know if you have individual questions you want to call or email me, or you can raise your hand at the end and ask questions here too. But so far we're off to a great start. The children are so adaptable and the staff is pretty familiar. This is pretty similar to what we did all of last year, and to try to stay open and offer in-person learning as much as possible. So that's the line we're just going to continue to walk this year. We want to do as much fun and interesting things, field trips and events that we can do while keeping the kids safe. So everything will be adjusted a little bit, and I will apologize to that. Sometimes the field trip permission slip might come out at the last minute because we're just finalizing all those details, because we can't do the same field trips we've always done. They'll be a little bit different. Okay, so after that, I'm going to introduce our wonderful board chairwoman, Erin. She loves public speaking, I think. I get the impression. I've told many of you on a tour we are a nonprofit run by a board of directors. I think she may be the only... Oh, no, I see Kelly back there. We have one other board member here. If you want to stand up or wave or raise your hand, Kelly. Am I missing anybody else back there? We do have several other board members that are available to help answer questions and things, and Erin's the best, so.
Thank you. My name is Erin Rankin, and I have 2 children here in 3rd and 6th grade. And As Sarah mentioned, there are currently 9 of us on the board here, both past parents and current parents, alumni parents, and then staff as well. And I just wanted to take a quick minute just to talk about some of the exciting things I think we have going on or that we're working on, in case you're interested. And our board meetings are open for the most part. So those dates will be available in the newsletter if you all want to attend or check out what we're up to. Closer, sorry. The first notable project I would mention are the building updates. You may have already noticed we've got the new roof. If you're new, this is a new roof. And this is kind of a multi-phase, multi-year, once every couple of decade kind of project. So we will be actively fundraising with a specific goal in mind. Next summer, we're slated to have some new gutters and paint, so a new look for the fresh look for the building. And then we have interior landscaping, playground updates we're kind of looking forward to on the horizon as well. And we're just really excited to show some care for and add some beauty to our space and our environment for you and your families to enjoy and for future families to enjoy. I know I just touched on fundraising for the building with regard to the campus updates, but our first major fundraiser is actually going to be the Montessori Mile. It's going to be our 16th annual Montessori Mile coming up here at the beginning of October. And the funds for that are actually going towards our continued participation in the Ravenwood Outdoor Learning Center program that we host here. In the past, a donation from a generous family had covered the cost of the program, and because we so value Ravenwood here, we've decided to dedicate all the funds we raised during the Montessori Mile to keeping this program in place and affordable for our families. And so I would say if you are new to our school or don't know about Ravenwood, you will soon be hearing about it from your child, I think with great enthusiasm, because I don't know any of the kids here that don't love Ravenwood Day. Other exciting news, Sarah mentioned the middle school, moving forward with plans to expand to 7th and 8th grade. We really feel this program is going to provide a nice seamless transition from middle school to high school, rather than kind of cutting off at 6th grade. And are just really excited about the opportunities for the independent study and growth that's going to happen in that age group. And we also kind of love the idea of keeping the kids around for an extra couple years. We're glad to have them around for a little bit longer. On from that, we have generated a few committees to tackle projects in key areas that we hope will promote practices that will encourage enrollment, facilitate the generation of more scholarship money, that will allow us to grow the school in a scalable way and create some more accessibility to our offerings in the Flathead Valley. We have a finance and executive committee that are managed largely by our executive board, but we do have 3 other committees that we invite your participation in should you want to volunteer. Those are the marketing and community outreach, fundraising and alumni engagement, and building and grounds. And we do have sign-up sheets for those committees if you're interested over here, along with some sign-up sheets for other volunteer opportunities. So finally, I just want you to know we're open to receiving your input, hearing your questions and concerns. And as I said, our board meetings are typically once a month on a middle of the month Wednesday. If you guys are interested in what we're doing or have any questions, if you aren't able to get to Sarah, you can ask me. And I just hope you all had a great first day of school, and I'm looking forward to a great year. So thank you.
Sorry, you might know if you were going to go. No, I just was looking for you.
Thanks. I'm blocking. Hi guys, it's so great to see you. My name's Heather Wyrick, Heather W. I just had the best day of my life today. It was so great to be here with your kids, and we've got such an amazing class and so much enthusiasm. I just love being here every day with your students and with these guys who are just amazing and also love what they do. So something that's not on here that I looked to make sure that I want to mention, so I'm going rogue for a minute, is just the partnership that we get to have with you guys and how important that is. And I think in a lot of schools, you're going to get to have a partnership maybe with the teacher and have some conversations. But the cool thing is that parent-teacher-student partnership and how much we expect and know that your children are capable of taking charge of their own learning and that that's going to set them up for success in the future. So Harris and David and Sarah and Heather and I look forward to all the conversations we have with you, whether they're challenging or just to celebrate successes with you. please know that we want to communicate with you. We want to talk to you. We want to have a relationship with you guys about your kids, about your family life, about things that are happening that are exciting or hard, just because that's part of being in this community together. So with that, part of our communication is we all have emails that have our first name attached to @kalispellmontessori.com. So you can email us if you don't need to talk to us immediately, but just want to give us a heads up. Hey, little so-and-so had a really hard weekend, or hey, I've noticed, they haven't really been eating much of their main meal. Could you check in with them today? Or could we meet and set up a time to talk about something? Feel free to do that. If you want to talk to us sooner, we're always available. There's always a teacher out at check-in on the curb, so we all, whether they're in our class or not, we get to know your kids, we get to know you guys, grandparents who pick up your cars, all those things. And then every single one of us is out usually at checkout too. So again, a quick 2-minute check-in, or, hey, how'd the day go? We can totally do, and we're willing to schedule more time to talk to you if you have greater concerns that need to be addressed. We prefer to talk to you in person or a quick phone call if possible. If it's later hours and you just need to shoot us a text and we can call you back at another time, then we'll totally do that too. Or like Sarah said, we pretty much are open to all of those things. Also know with the communication though, we are very much about being present with your kids during the day. So if you text us during the day, we won't get it. We're going to be with your kids and focused on them. But if you want to just let us know something that we can think about, after school in our prepping, that's totally fine to text us during the day, just knowing we won't get that. So if you need to talk to us about something during the day and it's pretty dire, call the front desk, leave that message for Sarah. She will get it eventually. She will get us notes in the back, and we'll know about that special pickup arrangement, or that something's going on. A really special part of our school that many of you may have noticed this morning is that we start off every morning with stretches together as a school. We run together around the track. We're often all doing that with them, but especially David every day. And we have the students leading that. It's so important to get your child here on time. I know we want them to be involved in that part and that responsibility to help get to school on time too. So if you ever need tips like, I can't get my kid out the door, it's just not working, please come to us. We've got some tricks. I've got some for my own kids that I use. We want them to be a part of that physical part, to be part of the community, and so that they can get those wiggles out, get their brain ready for all the learning that's going to happen as soon as they go in the door. Because as soon as they go inside, they're going to start, taking off with their learning. So it's such a great way to start the day. With that, drop off with the 48 families that we have, you can imagine it could get kind of crowded in the morning at drop off. So if you'll make sure to just pull through. We have a nice flow in our parking lot. Pull as far forward as you possibly can. Again, we will meet your child at the curb, check them in, and they can come and play. If you need to talk to one of us, feel free to park in one of the spots. We leave all those middle spots open for you guys. You can park and come in and chat, whether it's with a teacher or Sarah. And that way we can keep that line that drops off moving. So if you see us kind of saying, come on, just, sorry, we've got to keep moving, you guys. Drop off stretches. The other thing I wanted to say about just the being on time and stretches, it's not only good for them to get out and physically moving, but it makes such a difference in their day to start with a class. And any time you can have them coming in with the class instead of coming down the hallway late is just that extra boost you're giving them to start their day successfully and as part of the group. Sometimes it can feel like, they're being singled out. We understand occasionally there's an early dentist appointment or something you squeeze them in for, and that's totally fine. And I guess, and I also am the morning care person, unless I'm absent. So if you are dropping your child off early, I'm here at 7:30, and any time up until 8 o'clock, I believe, is early care. They'll be with me that whole time, usually get to know those kids pretty well and visit with them. And then after that, they can just get dropped off inside. By 8:15, they get dropped off and come outside, and there's a teacher outside. So that's kind of the morning information. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention this year, I guess it's sort of a personal goal for me and my children, but something that Harris and I have talked about a lot, and as a staff, we're in such a heavy technology age, and it's very convenient that we all can have cell phones, and and jump on those cell phones and get a hold of people and get information so quickly, but also just remembering the importance of being present. As I mentioned, we're not going to have our cell phones out in the environment. We do ask with all of our wonderful parents, whether you're coming back into the building to chat with one of us or to help with students, maybe there will be some reading listeners or people from time to time. We ask that you please keep your cell phones in your cars or just completely turn them off unless there's an emergency that you might need to get a hold of somebody. And we encourage that at home too, whenever you're having family time. We're not prescribing that you have to do this and this, but just also saying that we purposely know the importance of working so hard. Your kids work while they're here and they love it and they have that joy, but they really work and meet some high expectations. So we don't have homework that we're sending home unless it's a special policy. So take that time to send them outside, give them that outside time or that extra sport, or get them in for a game night. And again, that's just one of my goals, is being present and putting that cell phone away whenever possible, and just encouraging that, because we want our kids to grow up and be those, unfortunately in this time might be sort of an outlier where it's like, we need to see people face to face and be able to be good communicators. And it's great to be tech savvy and to do all those things too, but we also want them to get that personal connection with us in the classroom and with you guys at home, and for us to get to have those opportunities to communicate with you guys in person, face to face, as much as possible. So that's it. Again, our doors are always open. Please come talk to us. We love talking to you, sometimes obnoxiously. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, let's have a great year. Bye.
Thanks, Heather. I promise I won't speak as long. Oh, well, thank you guys all for being here. And like Heather said, today was an incredible day. The first day of school as a teacher. It was nervous for me as a student, but as a teacher, I've grown to love it, and it's awesome here. Two of the main things that as a Montessori school we focus on are fostering independence and developing the whole child. And in the classroom, how we foster independence is we give our students choice. So during the work time, we give them choice to choose what they're going to work on, and we do that by following their interests, right? It's way easier to learn when you're interested in learning what you're learning. So we help guide them and follow their interests. We also help them choose where they're working. It's far more easy to learn when you're comfortable. Sitting in a desk for 12 hours, for me, I have a hard time learning, but if I can lay down for a little or sit on some steps, however it is. So that's how two ways we foster independence. We also give our students responsibility, and responsibility to put their work away. Whenever they take something out, they have to clean up after themselves. And at the end of every day, we also do cleanup jobs as a whole school. So we make the work environment a little messy throughout the day, but by the end of the day, we put everything back where we found it. And you guys can also do those same things at home. So at home, you could foster independence through choice. That could be choice on your child packing their own lunch, right? Teaching them that your lunch throughout the day affects your body, whether you have a protein versus candy, or a protein and some good fat and a low carb, something like that. Just teaching them those basics of the difference between a candy bar and, a fruit or some peanuts. You could also foster some independence by helping your child pack their backpack, or, guiding them to do that on their own. So that's what, especially at the E1 level, we're trying to help them do more things on their own and guide them with that. Speaking of lunch, I would say for a lot of our students, their favorite day of the week is Friday, which is Pizza Fridays. I know a lot of you know that. Fridays, if your child brings a lunch to school and they really want pizza, we're just going to tell them that, you brought your lunch and that's what your parents wanted for you to do, so you're going to eat, or you need to eat that lunch. But if your child wants to eat pizza, we encourage you guys to talk to them about it. It's $5, and all they have to do is sign, and they're going to have an incredible time. Let's see here. Like I was saying earlier, so we foster independence and develop the whole child. So developing the whole child just means not just academics. We care a lot about your child's social, emotional, and physical well-being. like Heather said, we run the track every morning and we do stretches every morning to take care of your child's physical well-being. We also take time for your child's social and emotional well-being. So conflicts come up every day, constantly. And what we do is we ask them questions. So, like, first is we acknowledge their feelings. You know, how are you feeling? What are you feeling? The second is their thoughts. So what are your thoughts? And how are your feelings affecting your thoughts? And the last is your actions. What did you do? So those three things are questions we're asking them at home or in the car. I'm sure throughout this year your child will have some conflict or issue that's still bothering them. And you can ask them and acknowledge their feelings first, then ask them just what are their thoughts, and then, you know, what did you do about it, or what can you do differently next time? And it is normal that even the next day something could still be bothering your child. That's fine. As Heather said, our doors are open. We're here. We're happy to talk to your child, talk to you guys about it. But what we're going to do is encourage that your child take responsibility of their problems. And we're going to help them solve those problems and learn how to move forward. And I think that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm going to expand a little bit on that theme of technology that we talked about. Last year was a wild year, and the few months of the year before that were even crazier when we were in lockdown, and we did remote learning. And last year, that was a feature we offered. And as a staff, we realized that was, it's not the same as being in a classroom, and B, it was very difficult to manage as a in-person teacher as well as an online teacher. So we are not offering that this year. I think most people are aware of that. But especially in E1, it's really a challenge for young guys to be in front of a computer, and we really don't want people to be plugged into screens as much as is required for doing online learning. There is a caveat. Now, if somebody had to be in a quarantine and they weren't sick, or for, God forbid, the whole classroom had to be under quarantine, we would manage some kind of online interaction, mostly just to maintain community, where we would have meetings together and things like that. But those are going to be some rare cases. However, at the E2 level, we have, as we move forward in technology and into the future, kids begin to need to know how to operate computers. They need to know how to, be able to navigate the internet safely. They also need to know how to do some word processing and things like that. So at the E2 level, we begin to introduce those things. So they have their own email address. They can work on composing at school. They can carry on at home if they need to. So we do engage in Google Classrooms. It will probably be it'll be less a little bit this year, but there will be times when the E2 students are going to be in the Google Classroom. But again, it's a school-sponsored Google Classroom. It's very locked down. Like, you can't even email your own kids. Kids can't email me or can't email you to your own personal email. It's that confined. So we keep it really tight and locked down. That being said, beyond the complete opposite of that, Ravenwood starts in, that's outdoor learning. And there may be some questioning looks out there. If you haven't heard of Ravenwood, it is an outdoor educational experience where we have trained members from the Ravenwood staff. They come and join us, and we spend an entire day outside doing activities, whether it's being mindful of our surroundings, whether we're doing tracking events, whether we're creating tools that are primitive tools. There's all sorts of different things that we do all day long outside. It's a wonderful experience. 5 weeks for E2, 5 weeks for E1, and then we again repeat that in the spring. It's fantastic because we get to see the change in the season as we're outside doing things. And we need volunteers. So if you have a Friday that's available to you and you want to spend some time outside, what better way to get your volunteer hours in than joining us for Ravenwood outside? I mean, twist my arm, right? Oh, I have to be outside all day? Okay. So please, there's a sheet over there somewhere. Sign up for that. And more outside. As you're aware, we're masking up at the beginning of the school year because we've got the Delta variant burning through our valley right now, so we're being extra cautious. which means it's going to change the way our field trips are going to look like at the beginning of the year. Last year, we were able to do some overnights. Things were going great in May, but things look different now in September and moving into October. So we're not going to be doing the same kind of overnights. I have confidence that we will be able to get through this. Later on in the year, we'll be able to get back to some sense of normalcy. But for the beginning part of the year, if we're going to be doing an overnight, it's going to look a little bit different, where we're not like all together in little tents and stuff like that. So if we do spend overnight, we're going to be outside in the open, in the air, so that we're not all cloistered together really closely. We'll also be masking up when we're transporting kids back and forth, which only makes sense. And I think that's about it. Anything else that we need to say about overnights? My plans kind of shifted because I had grand ideas, and then boom, we're back to square one again. So we don't get to do the traditional overnight all the way over to St. Mary like we've done for the number of years, but I still have good ideas to go into Glacier Park and do some adventures around the campus here. So we still get to do some adventuring. We just change a little bit how we do it. We adapt. So that's all I got. Oh, I know Sarah doesn't have anything to say, but I do want to say thank you to Sarah, my aide. She's been my aide for 2 years now. This is your third year?
3 if you count the year that COVID kind of hit.
Right, yeah, you were
It's like 2.5.
2.5. So yeah, and she's a wonderful art teacher, and so please get a chance to meet her. She will be helping a lot more this year with record keeping and tracking, and we get to have her the whole day this year. So I really feel thankful to have her in the classroom supporting me this year.
You good? I'm good. Well, we're gonna jump in. Hi. I'm Heather. I got stung by a bee. I'm allergic to bees, so this just happened here a little bit ago. I am the Spanish music teacher and aftercare teacher for your children. And one thing I would really enjoy for aftercare, if we could just leave all the toys home. It just makes for arguments and children start to dispute, and it's just not what we need. So we can just leave the toys at home. That would be wonderful. It's what we do is we relax when we can be outside. We will be outside during that aftercare time, which is from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. If you aren't usually signed up for aftercare, it's simply easy just to call and let us know. Correct? Is that how? Just so we can let your child know something may come up. You're going to be late. Yeah. Otherwise, they can just drop in.
Yeah, you can drop in as needed. If you need your child to know that you won't be here right at 3:30 to pick them up, then we'll definitely get the word to them so they understand and they aren't worried. Where's my parent? And we provide one snack during that time. Also, if you would like, I notice after care time, students might be a little hungrier than what we offer. We do give one snack, like I mentioned. But if you want to have something extra, or if they pack something for them that's healthy to go ahead and do for aftercare, that's fine. Absolutely fine. And we have garbage cans here. They understand what to do. With inclement weather, then we will be inside. We have the large library area. That's where I always take the kids for the aftercare time. So with rain or snow or this winter, although in the winter when it is still, we can come outside, we would love to use the outdoor environment area for the students. And then also when you're picking them up, just the same as you would for after school time, if they're not in the aftercare, they just need to check in with myself. And I believe that Sarah's also going to be helping a little bit this year with the aftercare time. So they definitely need to let one of us know that they're leaving so we can go ahead and mark the time for them. And what else about that? 5 o'clock. Yeah, anytime after 5 o'clock is just goes on to your bill. Is that how that works? I don't know.
Try not to have after 5 if you can.
Yeah,
Before Miss Heather has to say.
just let us know what's going on, and that's great. Sorry, glasses. Thank you. Adios. Not too bad for a medical emergency. Okay, well that was kind of our nitty-gritty rundown of nuts and bolts on how the school operates and how the school day goes. Does anybody have questions right now? Be brave and raise your hand, because if you're thinking it, other people probably do too. And there's lots of new people this year. What I will say about those overnights that David mentioned is that they are on the calendar in 2 weeks. And so that's one of those times where I'm going to apologize a little bit. I think we have our plan for E1 Lockdown, which is a camp out under the stars and an outdoor movie, perhaps. And so you'll get some information either tomorrow or by the end of the week to sign up for that. If your child can participate, it's a wonderful chance for the kids to really bond and build community right from the beginning of the year. And then David is so close to just locking down a really fun and healthy adventure for E2 to do. So thank you for being patient and adapting as we get that information to you. Yeah.
Yeah, for the overnights, sometimes students might say, "Oh, I'm scared," or "I don't want to," and it's a lot easier to go with those feelings of "I'm uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, this is scary, I've never done it," or you might say, "My kid's never had a sleepover, I'm not feeling great about this. Please come talk to Harris and me about that." It even happens in E2 sometimes, especially when you come to a school and you've come from a school where you don't do overnights. We love supporting your children through that. It's a safe way to do something new and take a risk and be supported in it. We promise we won't let anybody crash and burn. We will give them all the support they need. And not only that, on those overnights, you can totally come and do it with them and be like, "Look, this is totally fine." And next year they're a pro and they're like, "No, I don't need you, bye." So please, if you're anxious about it or your child's anxious and you don't know what to say to them, we can say, "This is what we've said to kids in the past. This is how we can support them." Again, we really like our kids to make mistakes here, to take risks, and to know that they're doing it in a safe environment where they're supported by us and you. So please, don't just say, "Oh, no, my kid's not coming," and sign that and turn it in without talking to us. Come and talk to us and let us support your kid through that. Plus, all their friends are going to be here from class 2. So once they realize and they get here and all the other kids are excited about it, they're going to be so excited too. I promise. It's like the anxiety might happen at first, but we will get them through it. So
We've done that last year. We skipped the E1 overnight in the fall completely, and we had a pajama day and it was really fun. But what we found in the spring was when we got to actually go on a camping trip in the woods, and there was a cabin and they were several miles from their parents, that we really missed having had the chance to kind of baby step them into it here. That's a wonderful thing. And baby step the parents too, because you're in town, there's cell phone service here, and you can bebop over here and get them if there's any real emergency. So that's one of the reasons we do it now, is getting their toes in the water while it's really safe and comfortable and they're familiar with this environment, so that they can take off and soar and go to Mini Glacier and St. Mary and Bozeman and stuff as they get older and really see this beautiful state that we live in. All right, somebody has to have thought of a question by now. Yes.
For the pizza and the before and after school care, how is that billed?
Yes, that's great. Great question. So I'm going to repeat it for anybody who's watching at home. How do we bill for the before and after care, and how do we bill for pizza? Basically, if your child is here before 8:15 in the morning, we lock it down. It's $4.25 per half hour. Actually, the morning is $4.25 for the 45 minutes. You get a little bonus 15 minutes there. And then after care, it's by the half hour. So unfortunately, that does mean that if you come at 3:35, that you're getting that $4.25 bill, just because we have to cut off at some point. So the window is from 3:15 to 3:30. No charge anytime in there. We'll give you a 1 or 2 a month of the 3:31, 3:32, but we just have to kind of get people moving out of here and get the teachers, to their prep time as soon as possible. So 3:30, and like I said, like Heather mentioned, if it's the first time your child's staying in aftercare and they don't know, and it's just an emergency, you have an appointment, give me a call and let me know. If it's just that you sometimes use it and you sometimes don't, that's fine. You don't need to call and let me know every time. If they're a somewhat regular aftercare person, we'll just keep them here, and we just charge you at the end of the month. We tally all the half hours that they were here, and so September's hours for before and after care will come on October's bill. And pizza's the same way. If they show up on a Friday, they don't have a lunch that's lovingly packed on ice, and they raise their hand and say, "I want pizza," then we'll give it to them and we'll charge you $5. So at the end of the month, if they've had pizza every Friday, you'll get the $20 bill on the next month's invoice. Does that make sense? If they have that lunch from home, we'll say, oh, it looks like your parents want you to eat that lunch from home. Next time you can talk to them about it. And sometimes we'll have to call you and work it out if the communication is not super clear. But that was a good question. Any other ones? Yes.
Thanks for being so available to us via phone. And I'm wondering, what phone numbers should we have in our phones right now? And can we all
Sure. Absolutely. If you want to get your phones out, the most important one is the front desk number. That's the 755-3826. That's where you can call in the morning if your child has woken up and they're not feeling well and they're not going to be there today. That's where you can call to let us know for aftercare, and that's what you can call and just if it's a less important message about a doctor's appointment or a dentist. And then if anybody would like to have my personal cell, it is, you're all still entering the 755. So I'll give you a moment. My personal cell is 871-6036. I appreciate any respect you can give to the evening hours if it's not super critical. I don't mind a quick hey, I can't remember, is picture day tomorrow? That's fine. I'll get back to you if I can. But you can also, call me then or text me in the evening and say, hey, something happened today at school. Sonali came home and she is really upset. Can you give me a call? And I will. I'll give you a call and we'll see what time we can set up for you to talk to the teachers or discuss what happened.
What was the first number?
Yes. I think I got a request for both of them again. So my personal cell is 871-6036. And the school phone number, KME, is 755-3826. Yeah, emails too. Heather mentioned them. The lead teachers at least have Heather at Kalispell Montessori. You'll reach Heather Wyrick. Harris at KalispellMontessori.com. You'll reach Harris. David's a little bit weird. David C. for David Cummings, right?
I thought we had two Davids.
At one point, we even had two Davids. I know. We just love those multiple names. David C. at KalispellMontessori.com. I'm Sarah. Or front desk at KalispellMontessori.com. I'll get either one of those. Sarah's is a little bit complicated. I'm not going to spell it for you right now. Email David and ask for Sarah's. And we don't have one for Heather Dolan yet either, but you can email me and I can forward something on to them if need be. We would love to have your help signing up for a committee or some extra odd jobs around campus. What I will say is, being this small school that we are, if there is a job that needs to be done around here, chances are we're probably not hiring it out. We hire out the lawn mowing. It's a little bit much for the kids to do, but either the kids are doing it, the teachers are doing it, or I'm doing it. And so, if you have some handy skills and you can help us glue the backboard back on the basketball hoop or tack down the heat tape before winter comes. We had some wonderful parents that are brand new to the community. We're shoveling bark and carrying loads of wood chips over on the weekend. We are so grateful, and we just absolutely need that help. So please take a look out and see where the needs are. Helping out on the board and being on a committee is also really appreciated. Just making sure that we stay true to our mission and that we're moving forward together and supporting all of the parents' values. Any other good questions? Yeah, Jennifer.
Mine's not a question.
Okay.
It's a reminder to have them bring a jacket for mornings.
Good reminder. They are out.
Clothing for
Outside in the morning, so I'll just repeat it for these guys at home to make sure they have a jacket. That's true. They're at home. They think it's still summer. They think I'm good in my tank top, but they'll be out here stretching and running, and mornings get cold fast early here in the fall.
At that point, good running shoes.
Oh, good running shoes. Yep, if they're still coming in their Tevas and flip-flops, just try to ask them if they could use those as their inside shoes maybe, and have tennis shoes for the morning. Great. Anything else? Label everything. If you love it, label it. We have a lost and found that will be in the library. I moved it this year. I'm hiding it. I'm trying to make it look a little bit nicer. So you might have to come ask me where the lost and found is, but check it regularly. This age, boy, water bottles, shoes, coats, at the end of right before winter break, right before spring break, we'll put it all out, and there is nice gear there. I'm always just amazed, like, boy, I could go shopping for my kids. So just check it. You know, we have a lot of extra stuff that gets left, lunch boxes and all that good stuff. So try to remember to check it often. All right, feel free to stay and let your kids play for a little bit and maybe say hi to a new face in the crowd and welcome them to our school. And thank you guys for taking the time to come tonight. I'm glad to see you all.
If you had a question you didn't want to ask in front of everybody, you can come get me too.